is literally probably the 8th time we've been trying to do this. So whatever happens, it's going up, because that sounded a bit wrong, but anyway, I'm not very technical, so if this doesn't look great, I apologise. But I did a question and answer thing about a week ago, and I can't even say I've only just got round to doing the answers, because that's a lie. I've just decided to do them now, and I needed help with the YouTube as well. Boring you to death. Let's get to the questions. I've written down the majority of them, so I will answer them as best as I can. There's all different kinds of questions here, from stuff to do with the book. A couple of people have inboxed me as well with separate questions after reading the book, after the Q&A. So yeah, it's about the book, stuff to do with isolation, stuff in general, being a single mom, just loads of stuff. So yeah, like I said, I'll answer the questions as best as I can, and I hope you enjoy it. What's annoyed you the most about isolation? That's simple, people. The last couple of weeks, I don't deal well with having too much time on my hands. I'm an overthinker. I stress over silly things, and my anxiety just gets way too ridiculous. So this amount of time on my hands is not good at all. But on the flip side, I have realised that I followed a lot of tossers who I've actually called them my friends at one point in my life. They weren't really friends, they were more acquaintances, who I just think they have a big platform. They never upload anything to do with anything other than stuff to do with themselves. But then when they want something promoting to do with them that benefits their life or lines their pocket, they're happy to ask everyone to post their stuff. So yeah, I've unfollowed a lot of people because I thought, you don't make me laugh. All you do is upload your tits and arse every day, and you don't do anything to help anybody else but yourself. They never talk about real life problems. This is another thing that annoys me, and I'm going to do a separate chat on influencers and stuff. This whole thing just bugs me, how if you have a platform to be able to get a point across or talk about something important, why do people not? That's really confusing. It's confusing, but the last couple of weeks I've also found it quite annoying. So I've unfollowed a lot of people. So there's the answer to that. People bug me, but people bugged me before isolation, to be honest. First thing you're going to do when you get out, first thing I'm going to do is go straight to my best friend's house, because she had a baby in October, and he is going to have changed so much. And I'm going to be a bit gutted if he doesn't really remember who I am, because he loved me. And so yeah, I'm going to go and see him and my godchildren, Heidi and Ralph, my best friends with the children. And yeah, just spend some time with them, and then straight to my mum's house, who, for those who don't know, my mum has Alzheimer's and she got moved into a home in January. She was living with me and then moved her in there in January, which I'm so glad I did now, because it killed me to do it, but I'm so glad I did it now because of all this going on. But yeah, they will be the first group of people I go to see, because I've missed them a lot. Excuse me. I feel behind in life. I'm 24 and everyone is engaged and having babies. You're still a baby yourself. 24 is oh my god, I wish I was 24. I'm nearly 10 years older than that. Even though I'm about 30 years older than that right now. Need my Botox. Don't ever compare yourself to other people, especially your friends. I am so different to my best friend. We're complete polar opposites. She's like Mary Poppins, who has 3 children, and she's the perfect mum who does all the baking every day, and She is literally like Mary Poppins. She's the best mum in the world. I'm not just being biased because she's my best friend, but she is like a model mum. But I've been like totally different to it. I don't mean I've never done arts and crafts and stuff with my kid. Of course I have. But I like travelling. I like seeing the world. That's why I've not had more children, because there's been so much more I've wanted to do. Anyway, without like derailing from what you've asked me too much, don't compare yourself to anybody, because it just eats away at you, because you start thinking that what you're doing isn't good enough. It's not that. It's just you have a different path, and your time's going to happen. You're just not ready to have a baby. Don't do what so many morons do and go and try and find it. If you go and try and find a man to have a baby with, you're not doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it because other people are doing it, and that's going to end up in a car crash. Whereas if you actually just choose to live and go with the flow, and then it all happens naturally, it'll end up perfect. Not perfect, because nothing's perfect, but your idea of perfect. Instead of looking at what other people have got. If everyone did that, then everyone would be on Prozac, because you'd just be so depressed looking around at what other people have that you don't have. Yeah, just live. You're 24, go travelling, see the world, make new friends who have kind of similar things going on in their life. Don't worry, you're not behind at all. There's no such thing. Will you sell feet pictures? No, 2 reasons. First reason, just no, and second reason, because if I sold feet pictures, you'd probably ask for a refund or report me. How many books have you sold? Good question, because I don't even know that. Dealing with book publishers is literally like smashing your head against the wall. You never get a simple answer. You never get a straightforward answer. So the last time I was told, I'd sold 3,777 was the last number I was told, which I was buzzing with, because we only initially thought we were going to sell 2.5. And then I've sold quite a bit more after that. But like I said, trying to get a straight answer from a book publisher is like, oh my god, my stomach's rumbling. Yeah, I won't say too much though, because in case they watch this, very much doubt they will. But yeah, I have no idea. My dad has early Alzheimer's. How do you deal with a sick parent? I'm really sorry to hear that. Alzheimer's is, I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, things will get better and everything else, because it's not that they'll get worse, it's just that you have to accept that certain things are going to happen. Your dad will get worse, and things will start to change probably quite rapidly. It's a vicious disease where it really does kind of, I remember my mum being diagnosed and just started deteriorating like pretty quick. It was almost like as soon as she was diagnosed, everything started to change. It was bizarre. But the best bit of advice I could ever give you or anybody who has a sick, if you told that basically your parent's going to die, or he's dying, because that's kind of what it is, and it's so sad, because it doesn't really get recognised as that. Live and create memories with them. I did so many things with my mum. I took my mum away. Just spent a lot of time with her, doing things that she likes to do. I still do that now, really. Like, it's difficult. Like, if he's still talking, make so many videos, record so many things that he's saying, and you both doing things together, because you need that to look back on for when he maybe isn't as verbal or isn't making sense as much. But travel, obviously, like, if you can. I don't even mean to like expensive places, like make a memory on a train going somewhere, a picnic in the summer, we're probably going to have so many restrictions in summer, so make the most of it and just take him for nice drives. I love driving, like music for people with Alzheimer's is amazing. I put so much music on in the car for my mum, and that really helps a lot. Like Madonna and Diana Ross, Celine Dion, like any music that he liked from years ago, he's going to still love because it triggers the memory from years ago. Which then makes it easier for you because you'll see the happy side of him coming out. But that's the best advice I could give. Well, two lots of advice. One, create memories. It doesn't matter that he's got Alzheimer's. He's still alive, he's still here. You can still do so many things with him. Make the most of that whilst he still can, whilst he's still mobile. Even if he doesn't understand what's going on, he'll still enjoy things. So just do as many things as you can. Number two, talk to somebody. For me, I didn't want to talk to like Alzheimer's Society because I'm not really like, I just didn't have that in me to like ring them up. But if you feel low and you feel like no one understands what's going on and you need to talk, well, you can message me, no problem. Like, I'm not always the best with advice and I do word things terribly sometimes. But also Alzheimer's Society is, they're amazing. They are really good. Like I said, I didn't go to them for counselling or anything like that, but I know that it's there if I needed it. So yeah, and like I said, my inbox is always open if you're struggling, and I'll help if I can. If I can't, then Alzheimer's Society is probably best. But talk, don't like bottle things up, and make lots of memories. What's your biggest drive? So without talking about my mum too much, because that's just depressing, it would be seeing somebody who, my mum got diagnosed with Alzheimer's at a very young age, and that's been a massive kick up the backside for me because she didn't really have much of a life when I was a child. Well, she didn't have a life. And then as soon as she was happy and she met a guy, it wasn't long after that she got diagnosed with this illness. And that is just, I just can't imagine like being told that I'm basically going to die and I've only just found happiness. So for me, my drive is having, like, without this sound, I don't want this to sound awful, but like I look at my mum and I think that's not happening to me. I just want so many memories with my son. I want to do so many things. Like my son obviously is like a big drive for me. I want to go around the world. I want to go around the world with like eventually, you know, friends, or if I meet a guy. But before that, like all the countries in the world that I want to see, I want to do it with my son. I want to do everything with him. I want to see everything with him first. And we've already done quite a few things. So yeah, that's probably my biggest drive, is to live and be happy, find contentment. Yeah, I've said about 10 things there, but yeah, that's my biggest drive. What is your favourite Spotify playlist? I don't really have a favourite, Spotify playlist. My playlist is like all different because it's like all different. I suppose like I listen to a lot of techno, like I'm massively into techno and tech house. But I also love Rolling Stones and Oasis, Kasabian, The Doors, love anything like that as well. So it depends on my mood really, I don't really have one. Like this morning when I was cleaning the kitchen, I had techno on, but then I'd also put like Sylvester on, that You Make Me Feel Mighty Real. I've just mixed it all up. So I don't really have a specific playlist. I just like all different music. um, except for modern music. I hate modern music. And EDM, I think that should be banned. You are still young. You are still young. If you find the right guy, will you have more children? I'd only have more children if I was married. I would never ever have children again if it was, you know, if I wasn't married. And some people could watch this and be like, oh, what, because of the money and everything. Yeah, because I think the stress of being a single mum when I was a lot younger, and guys being able to do whatever they want, swanning off and not providing, which is fine now, it's years and years ago, but a lot of men get away with not providing for the kids, and that's not fair. And yeah, I was thinking of actually having a baby through a sperm donor, obviously one that I pay for instead of the other way around where they don't pay you. But when I'm about 36, because I would like another baby, because I was so young when I had my son, like I was 16, and as much as I loved it, it does actually really upset me sometimes where I think, I don't fucking remember anything. I don't remember so much stuff. And is it because I was too young? And I talked to my best friend about this, who, like I said, is like Mary Poppins, and she said it's nothing to do with like the fact you were 16, Ellen. She doesn't remember certain things from when her son was first born, and it's quite an upsetting thing. When you sit there and you think, shit, there's stuff I don't remember about them. And there is quite a few things that I don't remember about my son because it was so long ago. So I would like to do it again. But like I said, only if I was like married, or I'd just do it by myself again. I don't have a problem with being a single mum. Being a single mum is really, really rewarding. It's better to do it single than have the stress of anything, like someone annoying you around that you don't really need there. But yeah, I would have another one, but then I wanna go and travel. I love going to different countries. Could I really be arsed raising another child and not being able to see the world? I don't know. What will be, will be. Have you started your saucy book? No, I've not. Do you know, it took so bloody long. So, again, those that might not have a clue what I'm talking about. So, I didn't recently, but a book was released that I wrote. When did it get released? I don't know, because it was that much of a cock-up, the release. I don't even remember when it was. And I said that I wanted to write something like 50 Shades of Grey, but better. But it is something I want to do, massively. I loved writing my book, but I want to do something fun. Writing my book was not fun. It was like, God almighty, like, there were so many bits where I was looking, just thinking, I don't even want to write this. So I do want to do something that's dead fun. I would love to write something, and like the feedback that I've had from the book has just been amazing. From women and men. So to get feedback writing a novel about sex and kinkiness and whatever else, and you know, women, like I buzz off the thought of like women like being sat at home reading a book thinking, you know, like properly being into it. And I just know I'd do a dead good job of it, but writing a book is really time consuming. It is something I'm going to do though, 1,000,000%, because I know it'll be good. What happened with you and Jenny? Are you still friends? Do you still speak? What happened with you and Jenny? Oh, are you sad that you don't speak? That's better. So anyone confused about what I'm talking about, a few years ago, well 10 years ago, I slept with a footballer with this person, Jenny, and she decided to sell it to the newspapers and fuck off to Marbella and leave me with the drama. So when you ask that question, am I sad that I don't speak to her? No. I think she is the most disgusting, horrible, nasty, home-wrecking bitch probably to have ever graced the planet. She's awful. She's an awful person who doesn't care who she hurts. And now that I'm older, and I'll never forgive someone that did that. Like, she did what she did, to me. But fair enough. The guy's in the wrong that they sleep with somebody else and they cheat on the wife. We get it. But you don't have to drag, someone's wife through the mud the way she did. People have affairs all the time. People cheat all the time. Is it in anyone's best interest that people find out about it? Not really, especially when the wife never leaves the fucking man anyway. So what's the point? What's the point in people finding out unless the wife's strong enough to leave and whatever? Some things are just best left unsaid. And yeah, I am not sad that I don't speak to her. She doesn't deserve any friends. She's just a horrible person, and massive dick. I hope you don't mind me asking, but what's your opinion on escorting? My opinion on escorting is women should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's nobody else's business. Men slate escorts, slate brasses, whatever else, but use them. What's the point? I don't see the point. It's a job. And here's my stance on it, and I've always said this, I've had countless arguments with girls about what I used to do. So many girls, so many women have never worked. They get with men for money. They can't sustain themselves. They're fucked, basically, if the man left them. But they're not actually in love with the guy. So they're worse than a prostitute because they get in bed with a guy every night and tell that guy that they love them. Because they like the watch and they like the car on the drive and they like the house and they like what's in the wardrobe. But then they have the nerve to kind of turn their noses up at women that actually go out, take a wage for doing it, but then go home and be a different person. Escorts aren't deceitful people. Escorts aren't deceitful people. They're not lying to these men. Well, most usually aren't. There's no false hope there. It's a transaction. Whereas there's plenty of women out there who prostitute themselves in different ways, but they don't call it prostitution. If you're sleeping with a man who you technically don't really love, but you like your red soles on your shoes and the car you drive and everything else, you're a brass. So I think women should be able to do whatever they want. Just like I think if women want to gold dig, but don't slag other women off for doing what they're doing, because you're just as bad, if not worse. Your dad seemed horrible. Do you think this has impacted on how you are? So years ago, I would have said no. I'd have been like, no, he's not done anything to me. I am the way I am because of me, blah, blah, blah. But then as I've got older, my opinion on, I don't know how to word this, but if a girl grows up without a man, protecting them, making them feel protected. Every single little girl, never mind every little girl, every woman craves that feeling of thinking, I have him to turn to. Every girl wants that. Like, girls will deny it, but it's true. So if you don't have, listen, people are split up and whatever, that's fine. You don't even have to see your child. But if a girl knows that they have a man there to look after them and to be on the end of the phone if they needed them for whatever reason, that means that the girl will grow up to feel a bit more worthy about themselves. They'll respect themselves a bit differently. Going off my past experience and girls that I've grown up with, girls that I've met in certain industries, they tend to come from backgrounds that the dads haven't give a shit about them. They don't care about them. They let them do what they want, which, let's face it, when you're a teenager, that's cool, when your parents let you do whatever you want. But is it cool? It isn't. And if I had a daughter, I would never, ever, let her kind of, well, she just wouldn't be doing the things that I used to get up to, because everything my dad did was wrong. The parenting was all wrong. It wasn't done right. And I didn't feel like a little girl, ever. Probably because I was a bit of a tomboy as well. But if you do kind of have a daughter, or I don't know, I have to be careful how I word this, because I don't want to sound like I'm offending people. But yeah, in a sense, yeah, of course it affects, how if you've got a shit dad, or you've got a dad that was abusive towards you, you don't really think very much of yourself. So from a young age, you kind of crave very, very long attention. So yeah, I suppose it did. Until obviously recently, until the last few years. But growing up, it's a massive thing, it's very important. I think every single girl, every little girl wants a dad, and needs a dad, whether that's actually physically in person or over a phone or whatever. Every female wants to feel protected, and if they don't, they'll go and find it somewhere else, even if it's in the most wrong way possible. So yeah, it's just one of them things, isn't it? How's your mum? So my mum has Alzheimer's, and I put my mum in a home in January, which I found absolutely, it was awful. I didn't even know I was capable of being that emotional. It really, really messed with my head. But I'm so glad I did now, because I couldn't cope with her at home anymore. She was becoming really aggressive and just very challenging, to the point where I just didn't know what I was doing, and I just couldn't be what I wanted to be. I couldn't be the daughter I wanted to be. I couldn't be the carer I wanted to be, because I started getting pissed off with what was going on. I almost started to resent her, which I didn't want. So that's why I put her in a home. But like I said, best thing I ever did. She's in an amazing home. I feel so sorry for the carers, especially my mum's carers, who, when you see all this stuff on the TV to do with care homes and in papers, they drag places like where my mum is down, and she's with the most amazing people. The carers are lovely. You just know straight away with my mum if she's not happy with somebody. She can't really talk very much, but she'll be quite aggressive, and she'll run off and stuff. And she hasn't really done that with them. But yeah, she's as good as, what's the phrase? She's as good as can be. you for asking. How do you deal with negative comments? Well, I've been in the press now for I've not been in the press now for a while, but I've been in and out of the press for like 10 years. The best way that I could have dealt with it was, because there was that much rubbish going around about me. Yeah, there was a lot of truth in it, but because there was so much crap being said about me, I had to come away from it, and I just started to learn how to deal with it. And I think if anyone watching me who has a best friend, and I mean a best friend, I don't mean these people who are just they've got 1,000,001 different best friends. You tend to only ever have one true best friend, and that's what I have. We've been close since being 11, we've never fell out, she doesn't say anything to hurt me, she's never upset me. I think until she turns around and gives me her opinion, and she'd be the first to tell me if I was doing something wrong, because she has told me plenty of times when I have been being a dick, and she's put me in my place. But until she turns around and says something, I'm really not going to take on board what anybody else is saying. And my son as well. Hi dude. Yeah, my son as well. That's how I deal with negative comments. They don't mean anything to you. To be quite honest, if these people, I don't really get much shit anymore though, to be honest. But if people are nasty or say negative things towards me, I just kind of look at them and think, to be honest, if they got hit by a bus tomorrow, I wouldn't even be asked. So why would I be taking what they say to me seriously? And that's the best way to look at it, really. What's your favourite magazine? I don't have a favourite magazine. I think magazines are so dangerous. I think they thrive off bringing people down and turning the public against people that don't deserve that kind of animosity towards them. This isn't me speaking about myself. I'm talking about your Caroline Flax and people like that who, because we want to sit in a hairdresser's and have something to read, we tear someone's life apart. No, I wouldn't say I have a favourite magazine. I think they're pretty dangerous. Everyone thinks OK magazine, the sun shines out of its arse. They upload, I saw a thing yesterday and it really bugged me. Holly Willoughby, that's what I call her anyway, what her proper name is, whatever it is. Holly Willoughby does gardening barefaced without any makeup. What is that fucking journalism? What, because a woman's in her back garden planting some potatoes with no makeup on? Get a fucking grip. Who's asked? You're making it a big deal that women don't wear makeup. But then, on the other hand, if the woman was if Holly Willoughby came forward saying how insecure she feels about the fact that she doesn't have makeup, OK magazine would stand and try and act like the hero. It's such a hypocritical world where they basically slaughter people but then act like the best friend when the shit hits the fan. So yeah, I think I answered that. I don't have a favourite magazine. How do you find being a single mum? I love being a single mum. There's literally nothing scary about it. Okay, so when my son was younger, and I don't know, because people say to me, oh, you must have really struggled and found it hard. I just think if you're in a situation, if you've got a child, what is mourning about it and stressing about it going to do? I never did. I just got on with it. I was skint. I barely had anything, but I was happy. I was actually happy. I was happier a single mum with a toddler with about 60 quid in my bank a week than when all that crap came out about me and I had loads of money. I wasn't happy then. I was the most miserable person on earth. But being a single mum is like, I find it just really rewarding. I have the best relationship with my son. He drives me insane, like he's really bugged me this week. But I think most parents are probably getting a bit pissed off, just like he'll be getting pissed off with me because we're in each other's faces all the time. But I just find it really rewarding. I go to so many different places with him, like we're planning on going to so many different countries. He's really funny, and I just think I suppose it is hard being a single mum, yeah. But what would be a lot harder is if you had some pain in the arse man lingering around you, driving you mad. You don't need that. It's about making the best out of a situation that you didn't really plan. No one plans on being a single mum, but it happens and it's good. I've enjoyed it anyway. I wouldn't have done anything differently at all. Most genuine way of asking why you are single without sounding seedy. That's not seedy. Going back to what I've just said, I've had a lot of stuff go on. I've got a lot of issues, a hell of a lot of issues, but number one, I think being a single mum, you have a duty to raise your child and do it as best as you can without trying to find a man to do it with. I think a lot of women go and try and find father figures for the children, and I have absolutely no idea why, because you don't need to do that. But I've put my all into him, and just enjoyed these years of bringing him up and without having drama from men and stuff. It's just a lot simpler. And second of all, I have a lot of insecurities with regards to trusting people. I don't trust anybody. I trust my best friend, and that's it. So to allow someone into my headspace and to actually take them seriously is a big deal for me, which isn't fair. I need to work on that before allowing somebody in, because that's not their problem that I'm fucked in that way. So I need to deal with that, and then when that's sorted, then maybe one day. But yeah, single life is not as bad as what I think a lot of people think it is like, hence why a lot of people are in relationships and don't really want to be. How do you deal with Twitter trolls? I get one and I want to kick their dad in the bollocks. They don't mean anything. They're not kind of, for me, they're not even like real. It's just an account, innit? Just talking shit, and they don't mean anything to you. Their opinions mean absolutely nothing to you. They don't have anything to do with your real life. It's an app. It isn't real stuff. This isn't happening. They're not walking up to your door and saying these things. The best way like what I just said was, just think, if they got hit by a bus tomorrow, would you really be bothered? No. So don't be bothered about what they're saying over an app. It doesn't matter. Are you sworn to secrecy about Big Brother, or is everything aired? Well, not everything's aired, is it? Because if everything was aired, I probably wouldn't have got half the shit I got. Not that I'm not getting into the whole like, oh, let's blame editing. Editing is a bit of like an issue because, well, no, I'll tell you what the issue is. And this is why reality TV has turned to shit. Because people don't want to be aired for being the person that they are. So I had a lot of issues with various people who had contracts and stuff written up before they went in. So in other words, if they did say something, or if they got into something, or they said something that they want to take back, they can basically get it removed. Otherwise, they'd probably threaten to like kill themselves and stuff. And that's why reality TV is shit now, because it's not real and it's edited. But you're not sworn to secrecy. Big Brother was everything you saw with the majority of the housemates, until I went on the second time with a couple of housemates on there. They had contracts written up before they went on. So basically it wasn't real TV, was it? But I can guarantee everything that you saw me saying was real, hence why everyone hated me. But anyway, where would you love to travel to? Right, so I can't say this because my trying to say it is just embarrassing, but Galapagos Islands, just off Mexico, can't pronounce it. I love anywhere untouched. I like anywhere that's not been spoiled. I love the places that aren't like your textbook places that all your Insta wankers are going to. I love wildlife. I'm obsessed with sharks. Like, I'd love to go and swim with sharks. So yeah, if you know where that is, I don't know if anyone's going to actually understand what I'm saying, but the Galapagos Islands. 6 months of isolation. Pick one: cigs, wine, or rabbit. Well, not cigs. 6 months. That's heavy, isn't it? 6 months. I'd probably say my rabbit, because I could go without wine and I'd get bored of wine. You don't ever get bored of your rabbit. How long does it take for you to get paid from your book? Another good question. I don't know, because I've not been paid. So yeah, I don't know. What's your Snapchat? I'm not on Snapchat. Do you still believe in love and finding someone to love? Of course I do. Like, I've been single for 6-7 years. And I'd love to find eventually someone that's kind of like a best friend. Well, obviously male. I've already got a best friend, but I'd love to find a best friend, like a guy, and then it progress like that. Someone that you like. I think it's amazing if you can find a guy or find a girl, whatever, who, you know, you fancy the arse off them. You laugh. For me, it's someone that's funny. I love funny and I love confident people. But then at the same time, you know, you want to rip the clothes off. I think that's quite hard to find. But I do believe in it. I do think it's out there, yeah. I've not already done that. Oh no, I've already done that one. Oh, that's the who is the biggest ass you've ever met? Who's the biggest ass I've ever met? Met a few. I don't even know. I can't even think off the top of my head. Maybe not that I've met arses, but I've met a lot of people who are just so fake. Like, I don't even want to name names, I can't be arsed. But, I don't know how I have to think about that. Who have you met who you thought would turn out, who you thought would be difficult but turned out the opposite? Do you know who one of the nicest people I've ever, well, I've met a couple of really nice people who I didn't think would be very nice to me. Hugh Grant was really lovely, really, really nice guy, dead funny as well. And number 2 would be Chloe Lewis. obviously, like, I thought because of the programme that she's on and stuff like that, I thought she might be a bit stuck up her own ass, but she's not. She's like so pretty, but equally got like a lovely personality as well, dead friendly, down to earth girl. And Dags, is it Dags or Diags, whatever he's called, he was lovely as well, really, really nice. I still can't think of someone that's a biggest art. Callum Best, he's a fucking arse. What's the biggest goal you want to achieve? So I've got a couple of things that were just about to bloody start out when this corona bollocks started. So they're in the pipeline. Nothing to do with like the fame world or anything like that. These are things that I'm thinking for long term, what I actually want to do for the rest of my life. But my biggest goal is contentment. I've never really felt content. I feel like I belong abroad, and that's maybe something that I want to try and do. If it doesn't work out, I'll come back. But that would be probably my biggest achievement, is contentment and just being completely, not necessarily like mega rich, just being happy, content, comfortable, and independent. I think being independent as a woman is like a massive thing, and something that you should try and, even if you are in a relationship, everyone, whether it be man or woman, especially a woman though, should have some form of independence, because I just think it gains you more respect from a man. But yeah, contentment would be my biggest achievement. And my biggest achievement so far, I would say, is my son, because he is pretty much perfect. Not being biased or anything, but yeah. I think that's it. I think I've answered them all. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm going to do a separate video on influencers, stuff like that. But yeah, thank you for watching.